Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Balabha Girivadadhari Jaya Gopijana Balabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shatasa Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shatasa Srimad His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishiguru and Shigoranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Summon Bonam, Chapter 9. Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna, text number 12. Tyaktva jastin sutam bhitam Viyajar bhakavatsala Ijesha kilatan bhadhum Dhammatat viryako vida Tyaktva jastin sutam bhitam Viyajar bhakavatsala Ijesha kilatan bhattum Dhammatat viryako vida Tyaktva jastin sutam bhitam Vigyajar Bhakavatsala Ijesha Kilatan Bhattum Damna Tat Viryako Vida. Please chant. Tyaktva, throwing away Justine, the stick in her hand, Sutam, her son, Bhitam, considering her son's great fear, Vigyaya, understanding, Arbaka Vatsala, the most affectionate mother of Krishna, Iyesha, desire, Kila, indeed, Tam, Krishna, but Dum, to bind, Damna, with a rope, Atatviryako Vida, without knowledge of the supremely powerful personality of Godhead. Because of intense love for Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Mother Yashoda was always overwhelmed by intense love for Krishna. Not knowing who Krishna was or how powerful he was. Because of maternal affection for Krishna, she never even cared to know who he was. Therefore, when she saw that her son has become excessively afraid, she threw the stick away and desired to bind him so that he would not commit any further naughty activities. Purport. Mother Yashoda wanted to bind Krishna not in order to chastise him, but because she thought that the child was so restless that he may leave the house in fear. That would be another disturbance. Therefore, because of full affection, to stop Krishna from leaving the house, she wanted to bind him with rope. Mother Yashoda wanted to impress upon Krishna that since he was afraid merely to see the stick, he will not perform such disturbing activities as breaking the container of yogurt and butter and distributing its contents to the monkeys. Mother Yashoda did not care to understand who Krishna was and how his power spreads everywhere. This is an example of pure love for Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur umilitam yena tasmai Sri Guruve namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Brahmapada Swami iti namo. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Shatarine. Vanchakalpa Taruvyasha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. We hear the explanations that Srila Prabhupada tells us that this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. The analogy that Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita is like a tree, the reflection of a tree that is seen in a pond or a reservoir of water. So when we see the reflection, then the tree is upside down. So the branches are downwards and the roots are upwards. So everything is upside down. And the other aspect of this reflection is that there is no substance. So in the reflection we may see leaves and we may see branches and we will see a fruit. So if we reach into the reflection to grab that fruit, there is no fruit. There is no substance to that vision. So everything that we experience here is in the spiritual world in its pure form. Right here is a perverted form. It's a form that have no substance. Or in other words, that is what is called an illusion. So we see that the ruling factor of the spiritual world is this love. And the term is prema. And by this love, every action, everything that is manifested in the spiritual world, every interaction, every manifestation is a reflection, or is it comes out of this potency or this energy, love. And we know that this energy is ruled by the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is Srimati Radharani. Now, the perverted reflection of this potency, this loving potency, is lust. So lust is what makes this whole thing in the material world also run. So in the similar way that love, or the pure manifestation of this desire to enjoy in a relationship with the beloved, it moves every action, everything in the spiritual world. Lust, the perverted reflection of that pure love in the material world, is what makes everything going. That is the original thing that we receive or we come with in this material world. Icha dvesha samutena dvanda mohena bharata. That we come with already this desire, lusty desire, the desire to be in the controller and desire to be the enjoyer. And that's what makes everything move. Then the living entities start to act in this world. So every living entity comes in this platform of passion that is moved by lust. One of the symptoms of lust in the spiritual world, the symptom of love is that one doesn't, when the love is manifested in its highest pure form, or I won't say pure, but the highest manifestation of this love, because in the spiritual world, love is pure in all levels or in all manifestations. But the highest manifestation of this love have this quality that the devotee forgets or doesn't even care to know who Krishna is. And this is what we're hearing here. That Mother Yashoda, she never even cared to know who Krishna was and how powerful he was. It doesn't register. Even when it's displayed in full, Krishna's potency, it doesn't register. She doesn't care. It becomes cover. So love in the spiritual world in its highest manifestation has this covering potency that doesn't allow the devotee to recognize Krishna for who he is. He only sees Krishna as the supreme object of their affection and love. And that's it. They don't recognize Krishna as the supreme. Similarly, in the material world, lust have the same covering nature. So the living entity cover or absorbed in this lusty desire to enjoy and to be the controller of material energy, then doesn't even care to know who Krishna is and understand the powers of Krishna. In fact, that verse Icha Dvesha Samutena not only describes the lusty nature, original lusty nature of the living entity when it comes down to this material world, but also the hateful nature. That the manifestation of lust is that one hates Krishna. It's very shocking to say it. That there's hatred of Krishna within the heart of the conditioned soul. And as long as we remain conditioned in this material world, there's traces of that hate or envy. Is that what Krishna says? Icha Dvesha. Dvesha means envy or hate. So it is there, it is manifested in our aversion to regain or to have the original constitutional position to be in this relationship of loving service towards Krishna. So this is the parallel that is there between the material world and the spiritual world in terms of the cover that doesn't allow us to see Krishna as he is. In the spiritual world, because it's ruled by love of Godhead, then it becomes the most relishing thing for Krishna. And it becomes the highest manifestation when the devotee fully forgets who Krishna is. In the material world is the most abominable position that we can have. and basically brings us down into a down spiral of material existence. He's loud. So, so therefore, in the material world, the whole purpose is to transform that lust into love, to regain that original position, that pure manifestation. Prabhupada explains that is a matter of filtering, like when rain falls from the sky, is pure. But then when rain touches the ground, then it becomes muddy, and it becomes mixed with other things, and it can become polluted. But you take that polluted water and you pass it through a system of filters, and then it can regain again the pure state. So, so by the process of devotional service, then we can basically filter all those impurities and separate them, and then just being left with a pure original state of that the love, Krishna Prema. So it's there already within the heart of the living entity. It's just part of the essence of the living entity. You can't separate it. That's what, when this paradharma, Savai Punsam Paradharma, means, Prabhupada explains that this paradharma refers to the essence of the living entity, that you can separate. It's just part of your existence. It defines the living entity, just as sweetness defines sugar. Similarly, love of Godhead defines the living entity. So it's there, it's just dormant. And right now it's covered, it's contaminated, it's mixed with all kinds of impurities. And these impurities make this original love, or dormant love of Godhead, act or displays different things. So the process of eliminating all those things to bring back the position of this original love of God. And then when that is reaches, with that again, that love of God reaches the highest position, that one completely forgets Krishna as the personality of Godhead. Inconceivable for us to think about that, beyond our capacity to imagine. And in our state is not recommended even to get too much into that space. We can only read and aspire to become a servant of such devotees like Mother Yashoda and the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and that's the process that Lord Chaitanya has given us. We always have to watch, and Lord Chaitanya gave us a very strong command to be very watchful of becoming a sahajya, meaning that you take all this intimate connection with Krishna and treating Krishna in a much more spontaneous way, of not with the awe and reverence that requires when you worship in the personality of Godhead, but also sort of eliminating his position as God and treat him, as in a more intimate way. So we have to be very careful of that. Because examples are there of the devotees. There are great devotees who were able to do that. For example, there was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. What was his name? He treated the deities. He used to, he used to worship the deities of Gornitai. I try to remember the name. The temple is very nice. Actually, he is the appearance of Subal Saka in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Gauridas Pandit. Gauridas Pandit, I believe, yes. So, he used to worship the deities of Lord Chaitanya, but the deities of Lord Chaitanya, there was sometime another devotee, I can't remember his name, who by his devotional service, the deities became very attracted, and then one day, they just step out of the altar and started to follow in this devotee. And then Gauridas Pandit became very upset and started to chastise the deities, and like took a stick, just like Mother Yasoda, and started to run after the deities. And then, chastising that they have to come back to the altar. So, and basically he tied them to the altar. And to this day, when you go to the deities, the darshan is to open the doors and then close. In case, there's a devotee that may attract the deities, and the deities will start to jump again and then leave the temple. So, devotees having this mood of chastising the deities and, like showing a stick to the deities and like that, tie them, like naughty, like. These are very advanced devotees that have reached, these high states of love, that their relationship with Krishna transcends the awe and reverence. So, as long as we remain victimized by desires to enjoy in this world, and attachments to this world, then rules and regulations and worship in awe and reverence. We worship Shri Kishore Kishori as the Lord of Vaikuntha, in awe and reverence. And then we hear, under the guidance of the Rasika devotees, the pastimes of these very beautiful, intimate pastimes with the Lord. And that just fill us with so much happiness, and also the aspiration that maybe one day we can even witness that, because they're so beautiful and so attractive, and also tell us so much of the character of our worship of our Lord, how loving He is, that He allows those relationships to manifest without any hindrance. So, and is in full reciprocation of the desire of the devotee to serve Krishna in a certain way. So the fact that Krishna is crying and afraid of Mother Yasoda exists, and then Mother Yasoda, all this beautiful maternal affection, comes out. She doesn't want the child to be excessively afraid. And she binds him not to punish him, but actually to make sure that he doesn't do something that may harm himself. So all this is manifested by the will of the Lord, and he's relishing the love of the devotee. Any comments or questions?
You were contrasting the two positions, that of being in a lustful condition in this particular world compared to being in a state of prema or love for Krishna, perfect love for Krishna in the spiritual world. So you were saying that the common factor was a kind of forgetfulness of Krishna's position, but the forgetfulness is obviously very different, because in the spiritual world the seeing of, or the forgetting of Krishna's actual position is because there's such a deep, intimate connection to him, as opposed to on the ordinary level where there's no desire for connection or not even acknowledgement of the existence of Krishna. So that state of complete connection with Krishna is permitting forgetfulness of his position. So in fact, it's actually very different.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's like having something in its pure state and something in a rotten state, So everything, the whole experience is very different, when you smell a beautiful fruit that is perfect and ripe, and there's this fragrance and everything is so beautiful, and when you smell something that is rotten, it's like, the experience is completely different. So it's quite a contrast, and is it's quite a different, completely different experience in all levels. Although, in essence is just a distorted manifestation of the same thing. It's a degraded manifestation of the same thing. A fruit, or a mango or something. So when you were saying that I was just coming something to mind that try to remember now. Going off my mind. Is that all right? Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. Thank you, Subala, for the class. Something that came to my mind is what one day Nityananda Prabhu in one of his classes said, that our manifestation of the love for God is kind of a balance between what we know, what we have learned, and our actions, but also free of emotional manifestations, things that are kind of not real, not genuine of our God our love for God. We love God and we express it in a way that seems like a little fake, that too much, that is not truly genuine. That is what came to my mind now that you were talking, that it's not just hatred or envy or the sense of rejection because there's too much regulations and too much things that we have to go through in order. No, there's a process, scientific process that we have to go through in order for us to achieve this prema, and therefore we develop some kind of animosity, some kind of animadversion towards the Supreme. Therefore we start like faking it and being too emotional, but there's no substance, as you said. No, it's an anodyne feeling. That's what it just came to my mind.
Yeah, actually, that was the thing that I was thinking when Krishna Archana was, bringing her comment and question. That similarly, that even for those who are pious, living entities who are pious, they accept the existence of God, but there is mixed also with this envy or this rejection or this. So it tends to be, actually, in general, is very impersonal. Then that one tends to imagine just being in a relation. It happens a lot. We are in a relationship with someone, but it's very self-centered. So, so it's very dissatisfying. It's a one-sided thing. It's not really a relationship. You're just sort of using someone. And the person on the other end, when they start to feel that, it's all about this person, nothing about me, I'm just being used, it's very unhappy, So, in general, we relate with God from the perspective of being self-centered. Is not even, considering much of, what, let me do something for God, but I do something for me in the name of doing something for God, So, so even for persons in the material world who are pious and look towards God, still, because of being affected by this ichadvesha business, by desire to enjoy in this material world, then ones don't see. We can't see the personality of God for his position. It happens to it happened to us. It's a very graphic thing that happens to us when we're chanting Hare Krishna. How many times we hear of the position of the holy name? It's not different than Krishna. Krishna is fully present with all his potencies in his holy name. And, devotees that are advanced, they experience in full Krishna. Srila Sanatana Goswami says that he's dancing his tongue. in the form of the holy name. So he experienced the relationship with the holy name, with Krishna. In ours, many of us, what we experience is we don't want to connect to the holy name. We are very impersonal. We sort of neglect. So inattentiveness means that, you're not connecting. You're there, but not. It's a relationship that is not a relationship. It doesn't have a lot of substance. So we're working towards to create substance. So that's the bar. So that's what I was thinking, that even for those who look up to God and to establish a relationship with God, is still because of that polluted energy, that lust doesn't allow us to fully connect, doesn't allow us to fully see Krishna's position. So, many religious people, they don't fully understand, or even, how many of us fully understand the deities are none different than Krishna. It's Krishna fully manifested there. They can speak if they like. They can move. We see the narrations, Shakshi Gopal and so many. They speak, they talk, they walk. They dance. So, but we don't, because we're still not ready. All right. Anything else? Okay. Thank you so much. Garantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.